Today we're going to create an onomatopoeia design inspired by the famous artist Roy Lichtenstein. To get started, you will need a piece of paper, a pencil, and a couple of markers. First, lightly write out your onomatopoeia action word. We're going to use this sketch as a guide and eventually erase it, so make sure you write really light. I'm going to show you two different versions as we go along. For the letters, make sure that they're touching each other just slightly, so that way they connect. Trace around each letter to create a bubble letter. If your letter is a closed letter, make sure you trace the inside of the letter too. After you're finished tracing around each letter, erase the original sketch of your letter. You can make any letter of the alphabet a block letter by just writing the letter out and tracing around it, and erasing the original letter you drew. Now that you have your onomatopoeia word, it's time to make it pop. One option is to draw zigzags all the way around a circle around your word, using different lengths up and down, and even some that go off the page. You can add a second layer behind the first layer that goes off the page. To break up the space, you can add U's in different sizes to make almost like a cloud around your paper. This is one way you can design the background of your paper. Here's the other way. Start on the side and start creating all different size U's that go up to a point. Some of them you can leave open for little clouds and stars. Continue to make all different size U's and leave some open all the way around your word. On the spaces you left open, feel free to make some clouds or some stars, or even both. After adding detail on each of the edges, I added the letter U and hopped all the way around my design to break up the space. Next, I added pairs of lines together to add some stripes for the rest of the background. I had extra space, so I added an exclamation point too. Next up, we're going to add some color. Roy Lichtenstein used red, yellow, and blue, which are the primary colors in his artwork, so I'm doing the same. First, outline your letter, and then it's easier to use the side of the marker to fill it in. You can use the same color for all of your letters or switch it up. The choice is up to you. After you're finished tracing your letters, use a black marker and trace around the outside of your letters to give it an outline. I like to use a scrap paper under my hand, so that way the marker doesn't bleed when I'm moving my hand around, and it's actually easier to glide my hand along the line I want to outline. Once you're finished tracing all of your letters, it's time to work on the background. We're going to copy Roy Lichtenstein style by making Ben-Day dots inside the shapes in the background. Hold a scrap paper on a diagonal and add some dots, skipping space, and slide it down and continue on throughout the shape that you choose. I thought it was easier to flip my paper over to finish off the rest of my shape. And don't forget to add them inside the letters too. Instead, you could always add a solid color of marker behind your word and then add the Ben-Day dots in the next shape. If you chose to do Ben-Day dots first, make sure that the second layer is a solid layer. Trace the outline of the shape first and then fill it in. I chose to do two colors on this layer. For my second example, since I did a solid color first, I will add my Ben-Day dots to my next layer. Holding a scrap paper on a diagonal is an easy way to follow along the line to create your dots in whatever layer you choose to do. For the background for this one, I added stripes, so I'm going to alternate between solid colors and Ben-Day dots with the same color. First, I filled in all of my solid shapes first, skipping every other stripe. Then I got my scrap paper out, held it on a diagonal, and started adding my dots to the empty shapes that were left. If you added a lot of Ben-Day dots in the first part of your picture, you can go ahead and fill in the background with solid colors. Once you're finished adding color to your background, trace all of your pencil lines for all of your shapes in the background. Once you're finished outlining, you have finished creating your own Roy Lichtenstein style piece of artwork. I cannot wait to see what onomatopoeia word you picked for your project and how you decided to design it.